Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is a writer and director. He brings to light in his debut film a social epidemic that is affecting millions of households. And he's here today to talk about his new film entitled Life, Love, Soul. Help me welcome Mr. NOEL CALLOWAY. How you doing, and welcome to the show.
Oh, hey, how are you? I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Great. I got an opportunity to watch your film, NOEL, and one thing I noticed about your film, that your film really does bring to life the real realities that people are facing today, and that's the subject of fatherless sons. And I wanted to ask you, why was this story so important for you to tell?
Thank you for checking out the film. It was an important subject for me to tackle because when I initially wrote the story, I was 17 and I was raised in Harlem, New York. So I was a 17-year-old in Harlem, and everywhere I looked, between my friends, my family, people at my school, there were just a lot of young boys like myself who were growing up without a father, and it was so common that it really wasn't discussed and it really wasn't covered in entertainment. So, just being a young man who liked to write, I wanted to write a movie about it, and I wanted to tell our story, the story of a bunch of young black men in urban cities, and I wanted to tell it in an honest way and in a way that I thought represented us correctly and not the way that we're often represented in entertainment.
And that is so true because, when I think back to my neighborhood, because I know my mother had two children and me and my brother, we weren't raised with our father. So, and I thought it was so interesting when I look around my neighborhood, I think there was one guy I knew, he had a father. His name was Charles. And he was like the only kid in our neighborhood that had a dad. But it was amazing that although he had a father, Charles ended up going in the wrong direction and he ended up getting into drugs, and I couldn't understand that. And then later on, he was killed. But it was amazing. And I thought about that. I said, and he was like the only kid in our neighborhood that actually had a dad, and he went down the wrong direction. I thought that was so interesting. But I want to say thank you for bringing this to life because, as we all know, well, I think some of us should know, Oprah Winfrey also did a Fatherless Sons on her show. And I wanted to know, did you get an opportunity to see that?
I did see it. I thought it was really eye-opening, and it was right on time. I think it's something that is now becoming a part of the national conversation. It's long overdue, but it's necessary.
Because I'm glad that she brought the light, because one thing I saw in that show, it was amazing. It didn't matter how old those men were. I don't care if they were in their 20s all the way to their 60s and older. I saw so many men in the audience shedding tears because they still felt that same emotional pain, although they were older. And I think if some parents realize it doesn't matter how old your child is, they still desire to have their parent in their life, no matter how old they are.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a testament to that. I was raised without my father in my life. He was incarcerated for a large part of my life, and then even after being released, we did not connect. We did not have a good relationship. But, as a young adult and now as an adult, we have built a phenomenal relationship where we are very close now, and he's even in my daughter's life. And that's another thing. I never had a grandfather in my life. My grandfather died when I was very young. So to just see my daughter with not only my father, but her mother's father as well, to have two grandfathers that she sees regularly, and, it definitely has a great impact on our lives at every age, not just as children, but as men as well.
And for those, I know they haven't seen the film because the film was, it's out now. And we're going to talk about the opportunity that people can have to go and purchase the film so they can view it. Can you talk to us a little bit about the film?
Oh, absolutely. The film, we have a great cast. It stars Chad L. Coleman from The Walking Dead and The Wire. It stars Jamie Hector, also from The Wire. It stars Terry J. Vaughn, Egypt Sherrod, Tammy Roman of Basketball Wives fame, Valerie Simpson of Ashford and Simpson in her film debut. We have two breakout stars, Robbie Tate Brickell and Mia Michelle, and we have phenomenal actress Tamara Faye in it as well. So we have a phenomenal ensemble cast, and it's about a 17-year-old honor student growing up with his mom, who's an attorney, and he's living a great life. He's he's gotten accepted into a lot of colleges, and everything's going really well. And then his mom is killed in a car accident, and so is his younger brother. And he has to reconnect with his father, who he never had a relationship with. And that's pretty much the core of the film. It's the relationship between those two men and how they fight each other, and then that fight turns into a fight together to build the relationship between them, and also to get this young man back on track. So it's rooted in truth. It's rooted in real life, and these actors did a phenomenal job bringing my words to life and creating what I feel is a timeless film.
One thing I like that you did in the film, Noel, is that you didn't make the young man a stereotypical young man, not going to school, uneducated, illiterate. You made him a young man that was very intelligent. He was an honor student, very bright, accepted into colleges. And you don't see that in a lot of our movies because our young men are so stereotyped. And so, so watching the film, I'm like, I am so glad he did not stereotype this particular young man. And even though he had to go live with his father, he was still intelligent. And, of course, pain from losing his mom, to take you down another road. But then you brought something else. When I went to college, it was interesting that I knew a young lady who was on her way to college, ended up getting with child, and you brought that out as well in the film. So I was, to me, you brought out some stuff that's just true to life and things that really do happen, but then how you can overcome, and showing a young man who stood up to his responsibility. So I'm just so glad that you did not make an African-American young man just a stereotypical how sometimes the world view our black men.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for appreciating that, because for me, again, when I wrote this, I was a 17-year-old who had just graduated from high school and was on my way to college. So, and we all looked the same. Like the guys on my block who were not doing anything productive, we shopped at the same stores, so it wasn't as if, if anybody who didn't know and saw us all in the barbershop sitting together, they couldn't tell which one of us were honor students and which one of us were not. So, in our entertainment, sometimes those images of young black men are, we see something and then we automatically perceive negativity. And I think, it really hit home for me with the Trayvon Martin case. You got this young man who's wearing a hoodie just because he's wearing a hoodie, not for any other reason. And then he is profiled and stalked and attacked. And that could have been any one of us. And, putting positive images on the screen and film, I think can go a long way to breaking some of those stereotypes, because sometimes people don't have day-to-day interactions with young African-American men. So all they know is what they see on TV. And if all we're putting on TV is hustlers and drug dealers, then that's what they're going to receive us as. So hopefully I've done my small part in putting positive black images out there to show that we are not all one thing.
And you did. I think you did a great job at that, because people don't even realize until I read your bio and the statistics when you said it's a social epidemic. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 24 million children in America, 1 in 3 children live in a home without the presence of their biological father. I said, that is amazing. I mean, I never looked at it like that. 24 million children in America.
1 in 3. 1 in 3, and that's not even 1 in 3 black children. That's 1 in 3 children. And we have to own this issue as a black community, and we have to tackle this issue. But this is far larger than that. This is an American issue where American families and then by and large American society is fractured because the family is not intact.
Right.
And I think films like this and conversations like the one that Oprah started with Iyanla Vanzant, that allows for people to start to take notice of the issue and to put people on notice that it's not okay. And once we start to understand that it's not okay, even though it has been the norm for so long, then I think we can start to, people will be a little more responsible before they have children, and maybe people will be a little more diligent in staying in their homes when things are not going perfect, because life isn't perfect, but you still have to kind of stick to it and, put this child before your own personal needs. So, hopefully we're all, starting to take notice of that.
Yeah, because see, on August 8th, Life, Love, Soul was selected as an opening film for the first annual Fatherhood Image Film Festival in New York. I want to say congratulations to that. And it's the winner of the 2011 Audience Award at the Urban World Film Festival. How does that make you feel knowing that your film is having an impact on people and it's being recognized?
It's a wonderful feeling. You know, this film took 4 years to get done, and it's taken an additional almost 2 years to get out. So some people look at that as a negative. I look at it as, you know, us persevering, and I look at it, you know, when we're winning those awards and when we're being acknowledged by festivals and by audiences specifically, it shows that all of this hard work and this sometimes thankless work is being appreciated, and that, you know, that old notion that, you know, good, solid black films don't work or black drama doesn't work. We're disproving those notions because people are going out and buying this film. You know, it's available at Walmart now. It's available on Amazon. Amazon just had to reorder more because it was sold out. And, you know, it just came out yesterday. It was pre-order. It was available for pre-order for about a week. So people are stepping up and letting their voices be heard that they do want films like this. So, you know, having those that recognition, it feels wonderful because there was a time, you know, not too long ago when we didn't know if this was going to work. But it's working.
Well, that's good to know it's working. That's a blessing. And it appears you got some awards going, you got some recognition, and now people can purchase it. Can you let people know where they can go and actually purchase the film today?
Yes, it's at hundreds and hundreds of Walmart throughout the country. It's a worldwide release, so it's available everywhere at Walmart. It's available via iTunes and Amazon.com. It's available on demand on cable and satellite TV. So whatever your cable provider is, if you can get movies on demand, this movie's available. And, you know, so if people want to go get it, they have the opportunity to go get it. You can always find information at NOELCALLOWAYFilms.com, the latest updates on what's going on with the film and other films that I'm working on.
Are you on any social media networks?
Oh, yes. We're on Twitter and Instagram. It's at the Noel Calloway, and Facebook is just Noel Calloway. And you can also search Life Love Soul on any of those sites, and we have pages as well.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure talking to you. Enjoyed the film. Do you have any other films you're working on in the future before we go?
Yes, I'm currently developing some other projects. I've written a bunch of scripts. People are starting to take notice. So we're working. So, you know, we hope to have something else to follow up Life Love Soul, you know, very soon.
All right. Well, I'll be looking out for that. I look forward to having you back on the show to discuss your new projects.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. And I want to thank you even more for promoting the film because, you know, without an advertising budget, you guys are our only way of getting this film out to the public. So by having me on your show, watching the film and supporting it, you know, I really want to thank you because you guys are the lifeline for independent filmmakers.
Well, you are so welcome, and it was my pleasure. Thank you, Noel.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.